Okay, so I'm back. So the Caribbean options. We have Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados. The English speaking Caribbean is incredibly appealing to Nigerian graduates because the language barrier disappears and their healthcare systems share historical British structural roots with Nigeria. The licensing pathway, CARICOM nation, uses the CAMC, Caribbean Association of Medical Councils exam, as a regional standard for non exempt IMGs. The shortcut, PLAB/USMLE acceptance. Unlike South America, major Caribbean hubs like Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica will waive the CAMC exam if you have passed the USMLE or PLAB. Since your profile says you do not have PLAB, you would be required to sit for the CAMC Part 1 and Part 2 exams. Residency entry. Residency training in the Caribbean is run through the University of the West Indies (UWI) via DM Doctor of Medicine programs. Ease of acquisition moderate. The paperwork is straightforward, but finding a hospital willing to sponsor a work permit for a non-CARICOM citizen can be slow. Local vacancies are legally offered to regional graduates first. Verdict versus South America. If you struggle with learning a new language, the Caribbean is a much better choice than Brazil or Argentina. However, the income potential is significantly lower than in Brazil's Mais Medicos program. So, summary, where should you go? Argentina's language is Spanish, residency requires residency, no. Um, Okay. Immediate work as a GP, yes. Overall is for Nigerian ING high, best regulatory path. Let's go to Argentina. Brazil, Portuguese. You have to learn Portuguese. Requires residency, no. Yes, via Ms. Medicus. That is immediate work as a GP. Medium to high. Hard exam, great immediate pay. Ooh la la. United States, English, yes. No, medium, English Caribbean, English Caribbean. I mean, what's this? What's okay? It requires residency. No, I don't know what that means. Okay, maybe residency to work as a resident before you get the job. Okay, I get that. Okay. Mexico, we need to know Spanish. Yes, you need to have a residency. It's highly restricted. Low, medium bureaucratic validation. No. Canada, English or French. Um, Residency, yes. And then immediate work as a GP, no. Extremely low immigration luck, but it actually depends really. Um, because I'll tell you, we'll get to that later down there. So recommended strategy. If you refuse to learn a new language, focus entirely on the USMLE pathway, USA, or look into taking the CAMC exams in the Caribbean. If you want the fastest, cheapest path to a license and a second passport, pick Argentina. I've not even thought, I didn't ask like how much it will cost. I don't know why I never did that, but maybe some other day. The language hurdle is real, but the immigration and licensing laws are the most protective of foreign human rights. If you want to maximize immediate earnings linked to Brazil's Mais Medicos program, using your 3 years of clinical experience as your main selling point. So, okay, so this part, I I always look for excuses, and this is one of the big excuses that I have because I'm really scared to travel out of this country. So I was like, as a black Muslim woman, which is the safest, more accommodating and worthwhile out of all the options, right? For a Black Muslim woman, evaluating these regions requires looking closely at intersectional factors: personal safety, religious accommodation, hijab visibility, halal foods, mosque, and professional rewards, worthwhile career, financial ROI. When your identity crosses with being a Nigerian IMG, your option shifts dramatically. Here's a breakdown of how these destinations truly treat a Black Muslim woman in the medical sector. The United States, the most worthwhile, high risk, highest reward. The US represents the highest professional reward, but it comes with a mixed social reality. Safety, generally safe in the suburban and metropolitan areas, but you must navigate the systemic reality of anti Black racism and localized Islamophobia. You would you will need to be selective about which state city you match into for residency. Okay. Accommodation excellent. Major US medical hubs, Houston, Chicago, New York, Detroit, have thriving, highly respected Black Muslim and Arab Muslim physician networks. Wearing a hijab in a US hospital is completely normalized, and hospitals provide dedicated prayer rooms, musallas, and halal options. Worthwhile factor, highest globally. If you can survive the grueling USMLE journey, you will earn a massive income, 250,000 to 500,000 plus, receive world-class training, and have your credentials respected globally. This is the dream. The English-speaking Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, the most accommodating. If your priorities immediate peace of mind, cultural comfort, and minimal friction, the Caribbean is excellent. Safety, very safe for you. Very safe for you socially. Violent crime exists in specific localized pockets like parts of Kingston or Port of Spain. But as a professional expatriate woman, you are highly respected. Accommodation, outstanding. Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana have deeply rooted, highly influential indigenous and South Asian Muslim populations. Islam is woven into the national culture. Eid is a national public holiday. Halal food is everywhere, and hijab wearing female doctors are a common sight in public hospitals. There is zero culture shock coming from Nigeria. Worthwhile factor moderate. The pay is significantly lower than in the US, and it is a smaller medical ecosystem. It is beautiful for lifestyle and safety, but limited for rapid wealth accumulation. Brazil, high potential but culturally isolating. Brazil offers great financial pathways through programs like Maize Medicos, but the social adjustments are immense. Safety. Brazil has complex security dynamics, while xenophobia against Nigerians is relatively low because Brazil embraces its deep Afro descent roots, especially in states like Bahia. Street crime is universally high. You must maintain strict personal security. Accommodation, very low. Brazil is overwhelmingly Catholic and evangelical. Muslims make up less than 1% of the population, mostly concentrated in Sao Paulo or Foz do Iguaçu. I can't, sorry, I muttered that. I'm so sure. If you're sent to a rural area via maize medicals, you will likely be the only Muslim for hundreds of miles. Finding halal food is very difficult, and wearing a hijab would draw intense security and constant stares, though rarely overt hostility. Worthwhile factor, high for passport and income. The Maze Medicals program pays very well, and a Brazilian passport is an incredible asset, but emotionally and spiritually, it can feel very isolating. Argentina, culturally smooth but financially depressed. Argentina is a beautiful country with very welcoming people, but its economy makes it less worthwhile. Safety, very safe regarding violent crime compared to Brazil, and the society is generally respectful. Accommodation, low to medium. Buenos Aires, I don't know how to pronounce it, oh my God. Buenos Aires, I think that is what it's pronounced. Buenos Buenos Aires has a historic Levant Arab Muslim community, and it's home to the King Fahd Islamic Cultural Center, the largest mosque in Latin America. However, outside the capital, Islamic infrastructure disappears. Furthermore, Argentina is structurally very white. As a black woman, you will face microaggressions and exoticization. I'm not sure if that would work with a hijab on me, who knows? Simply because Afro Argentines are a tiny minority. Welfare factor low. Argentina's hyperinflation and devalued currency mean that practicing as a GP locally will yield very low savings in USD terms. It is only worthwhile as a stepping stone to a passport. Passaporte. Okay, the intersectional verdict. USA safety ratings medium varies per state. Islamic optimization excellent. Black African inclusion high. Financial career value maximum. Trinidad, the Caribbean safety high, socially safe. It is a national holiday in Trinidad. Excellent. Oh, I need to be a Trini. Like, sorry, I don't know what I did. Okay, so for Brazil, mm, low general street crime could be isolating. There's black inclusion and Afro and all that. Financial and career value, say great stipend and passport, I guess. Whew, I don't know the truth of all this. This is just AI saying things that I found online. So the reality is only the reality. I can't say 100% this is the truth or this is not, but this is me doing my research. This is what AM research looks like, everybody. Okay, so the next thing will be Argentina. Safety is high, low violent crime, Islamic accommodation, very, very medium, more in the capital city. It's not bad. That conclusion, very low. Financial and career value also kind of low. I didn't get to know how much they get to pay in Argentina though it's very easy to get job there. I know for Brazil you get to like close to like 2,500 US dollars per month. Wonder what Argentina has to offer. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, so final recommendation the ultimate match the US. If you have the mental stamina and can clear the USMLA, the US is the most worthwhile, except for the visa ban now. It accommodates your faith flawlessly, like my faith flawlessly, in major cities, protects your earning potential, and gives you a powerful community of Black female Muslim professionals. The safe haven, Trinidad and Tobago. If the USMLE is too expensive or stressful, look directly at Trinidad and Tobago. It completely eliminates the language barrier, respects your hijab and your faith naturally, and offers a peaceful, high quality tropical lifestyle. Ah, what a dream! The backup, Brazil. Only choose Brazil if you treat it strictly as a 3-year corporate mission to make tax-free money via Maze Medicals and secure a second passport, while accepting that you will have to compromise heavily on cultural and religious and sorry, while accepting that you'll have to compromise heavily on cultural and religious community conveniences during your deployment. Okay, so it's just asking other questions. So I asked it another bunch of questions. Are there any natural Do you know? I don't know how my brain works, but I guess this is how it works. So forgive me, guys, but I don't know why I thought about this, but this is the next thing that I had to ask. I mean, it's islands. I need to be sure I'm safe. Oh God, I'm a joker. So I said, are there any natural disasters in Trinidad and Tobago, and do Nigerian doctors go there? Yes, Nigerian doctors actively migrate to Trinidad and Tobago. What are your sources? There's a link. I'll go check it out one day. And it has historically been one of the most prominent niche jackpot destinations for Nigerian healthcare workers outside the UK and US. I don't think I ever heard of it. I know some people go to the Caribbean, but I have not heard of Trinidad and Tobago in particular. Regarding natural disasters, the islands are geographically blessed compared to the rest of the Caribbean, though they do face specific structural climate risks. Natural disasters in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago sits at the southernmost tip of the Caribbean archipelago, right off the coast of Venezuela. This unique geography drastically alters its environmental risk profile. Hurricanes, very low risk. Unlike Jamaica, Cuba, and the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago is located just south of the principal Atlantic hurricane belt. It is rarely hit by major direct hurricanes. While tropical storms can bring heavy rainfall and wind, catastrophic direct hurricane strikes are a rarity. Flooding and landslides, high risk. This is the country's most frequent environmental hazard. Heavy rainy seasons routinely cause severe flash flooding in low-lying areas, inland plains, and coastal sectors, occasionally triggering localized mudslides in hilly terrain. Earthquakes, moderate risk. The island sits near the boundary of the Caribbean and South American tectonic plates. Minor tremors are common, and the nation actively prepares for a baseline risk of moderate to strong seismic events. The Nigerian doctor community in Trinidad and Tobago. Nigerian doctors do not just go to Trinidad and Tobago, they are a foundational pillar of its public healthcare infrastructure. I have to go find that out. The numbers. Data from the Medical Board of Trinidad and Tobago (MBTT) indicates that hundreds of Nigerian trained doctors are registered and actively practicing across the Twin Islands. In certain regional public hospitals, Nigerian physicians and nurses constitute a massive segment of the senior medical workforce. Why they go? The Twin Islands offer a structured, familiar, British-style medical hierarchy that mirrors Nigeria's system: house officer to medical officer to consultant. It eliminates the language barrier. English speaking, offers a warm tropical climate, pays in a stable currency tied tightly to the US dollars, and features a welcoming multicultural society with a vibrant Muslim population. The catch for IMGs. Over the years, the influx of foreign doctors has led the local government to implement stricter labor market tests. Hospitals must prioritize local graduates from the University of the West Indies (UWI) first. However, vacancies for experienced medical officers, especially those with your exact profile of 3+ years of post internship clinical experience, frequently open up in regional and rural hospitals outside the main capital hub. So that was that. So the next thing, of course, I can't be satisfied with just that. Next thing was, how about Oceania, Pacific, and Europe? Expanding your medical search to Oceania Pacific, that is Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and Europe, UK, that is then okay, Europe, UK, Ireland, Germany, changes your strategy from a language focused move to a strictly exam heavy, highly regulated licensing journey. Whew. As a Black Muslim woman with 3 years of post internship experience, your identity will be well accommodated in major cities across these regions. But you must pass expensive multi stage clinical exams to practice. Oceania and the Pacific, Australia and New Zealand, high reward, intense exams. Australia and New Zealand offer some of the highest standards of living and physician salaries in the world. The pathway. You must take the AMC Australian Medical Council exam for Australia or the NZREX for New Zealand. Both require a computer based MCQ exam followed by a highly difficult clinical skills or ski exam. Social and religious climate, highly accommodating. Major cities like Melbourne, Sydney, and Auckland are incredibly multicultural with thriving African and Muslim diasporas. Hijabs are fully normalized in hospitals, halal food is mainstream, and prayer spaces are standard. Worthwhile factor very high. If you pass the exams, you can work as a non specialist hospital doctor, resident medical officer, earning excellent wages 80,000 to 120,000 Australian dollars starting, with a clear track to permanent residency and citizenship. Fiji and Pacific Island nations, culturally warm, financially limited. Fiji and other Pacific nations have severe doctor shortages and often look for English speaking IMGs. The pathway. Registration is handled by the Fiji Medical Council. Because you are a Nigerian graduate with 3 years of experience, they will audit your credentials. You may be granted temporary registration to work in public hospitals without heavily gate kept exams. Social and religious climate excellent. Fiji has a massive historically integrated Indo Fijian Muslim population, halal food is widely available, mosques are well established, and the culture is deeply respectful and communal. Yeah, I know my battery is going down, but I gotta complete this stuff. Worthwhile factor low to moderate. While it offers an incredibly peaceful lifestyle and a beautiful tropical environment, the salaries are low compared to Australia, and the medical infrastructure faces constant resource constraints. Europe. United Kingdom and Ireland the familiar standard route. Is it route? Is it route? Tell me which one. The UK's NHS has been the traditional jackpot destination for Nigerian doctors for decades. Ireland operates a very similar, highly lucrative system. The pathway. For the UK, you must pass the PLAB, soon transitioning fully to UKMLA. For Ireland, you take the PRES, Professional Registration Examination System. Social and religious climate, superb. The UK and Ireland have some of the most diverse healthcare workforces on earth. You will find thousands of Nigerian black and Muslim doctors at every single hospital level. Halal food, hospital prayer rooms, and hijab friendly scrubs policies are strictly mandated by workplace equality laws. Welfare factor high for career, medium for savings. The training is world class, and getting a visa is guaranteed once you pass the exams and secure a job. However, the UK's NHS is currently facing immense structural stress, high taxation, and a high cost of living, meaning your direct monthly savings will be lower than in the US or Australia. Germany and Western Europe, the language and bureaucracy barrier. Continental Europe, Germany, France, Spain desperately needs doctors, but they have completely closed loop systems. The pathway. You cannot practice without native level fluency in local language, e.g., C1 in German. In Germany, you must pass the approbation, well, process, which includes a medical German language exam. I can't pronounce that. Fastpronschempfung. Can't pronounce it. And a medical knowledge equivalency exam. Kettensprüfung. Social and religious climates mixed. While major cosmopolitan cities like Berlin, Frankfurt, or Paris have massive Muslim populations, continental Europe has a much more complicated, politically charged relationship with the hijab in public and professional spaces compared to the UK or US. Worthwhile factor low to medium for IMGs. The time and emotional energy required to learn a language to a near native medical level combined with intense bureaucracy makes it less viable unless you have a specific personal desire to live in Europe. Like, AI, why are you doing this now? How about if that is my only dream in this life? Oh my god, I can't believe this. Okay, so this is like the summary. Australia exams are really difficult, but like every other thing is kind of cool. United Kingdom exams difficulties like medium. There's like high taxes. Fiji, it's good, but then the earning potential is kind of low. Germany exams um is neither here nor there, and since German might be so hard, I guess I don't know. Anyway, the final recommendation across all regions, looking at your entire global layout: South America, Caribbean, North America, Oceania, I think, Europe. Here are your top three clear winning paths based on safety, accommodation, and being worthwhile. The gold standard, Australia. All of a sudden, it's not US, it's Australia. Yes, of course, we don't have the visa to that side. Australia. If you want the absolute best balance of massive savings, safety, and world class lifestyle, study for the AMC exams. Australia treats its medical professionals exceptionally well, and your identity will be safe and respected in any major city. The smooth transition, United Kingdom. If you want the lowest cultural friction and a guaranteed community of hundreds of Nigerian Muslim doctors to support your landing, reconsider the PLAB route. It is a well trodden, highly predictable path where you will never feel like an outsider. Now, the issue I have with PLAB now is like I have two of my people right now who have not gotten a placement to work in either NHS or somewhere in the private work anywhere in the UK, and they've passed their PLAB too. I have one who has even gone 2 years above passing PLAB two, which means you might need to have to write that again. And who has energy for that? I don't even know. Like I feel like they spend money, like money, guys, money. I don't even know how they get that money. I don't know. Like I always wonder how they make those money, but I guess I can't compare myself to them. Like I never will because my life is quite different, I guess. I like to play and I like to be reading this thing and just wasting my time and wondering how 24 hours ended. I need at least, and if it was 8 hours within 24 hours, more time to play. Anyway, let me quickly finish this before my battery runs totally low. It's already low, dangerously low. So why am I not charging it? Because I am using some form of Bluetooth something to. I'm using like a mic, a tape from mic, but it's through Bluetooth. So I'm plugged it to the bottom where it's also the charging port. So good luck to all of us. So let me quickly finish this. I don't know what that means because I think I still have a bit to go. So where was I? How did I get? Oh, it was Plab that threw me, of course. Of course, it's Plab that threw me, of course. The hidden gem, Trinidad and Tobago struck or the Caribbean. If you want to bypass the massive clinical exam stress of the UK or Australia while completely preserving your religious peace of mind, English language access, and safety, look back to the Caribbean medical boards. Okay, so the next thing, I went back to all these countries. How easy, I don't know why there's an extra Y, is it to get their passport? For Nigerian medical graduates, the ease of acquiring a passport in these countries depends entirely on their naturalization laws, because none of these nations sell passport directly through investment anymore. Outside of the Caribbean, you must earn citizenship through years of fiscal residency, paying taxes, and passing civic tests. Here is a direct breakdown of how easy it is to convert your medical residency into a powerful second passport across these regions. Argentina, yes, easiest globally, fast. Okay, okay. Within 2 years, you can get this. I think we've done this already. Can we just skip it? Within 2 years, Brazil will do 1.5 4 years. It's easy. Canada is a bit hard to get. Within 3 years, you could get it, but it's hard to enter. Faster once inside. Australia within 4 years. Um, strict fiscal presence rules. The UK is a bit longer, 5 to 6 years. Yes, it's expensive. Multi-stage visa path. Trinidad and Tobago, it's like hard. First, it has to be you have to have you spent like nearly 8 plus years or even more, and then you have to kind of denounce your other passport. Hell no, highly protectionist. Um, yeah. Okay, so detailed breakdown by region. The South American shortcut. Oh my god, my battery's about to die. So yeah, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Tell the world that I'm coming back.